Hey everyone, welcome back to another reviewed episode. You are on with the Sotong sisters, Delia and Jazz. It has been another couple of weeks of a hiatus with This Is Us.
You know what? We just plugging along where we can. We getting in episodes where we can because that's how they doing us this season.
Yes, it's just crazy how many different breaks we've had. I don't even know what this last one was for. Like, why did we just have another 2 weeks off or whatever it was?
I don't know. COVID? Like, I don't know.
I feel like the first one was COVID and they said that. But then this one, they didn't say anything. So it was like, why are y'all taking another break? Like, what is going on? This season about to run until like July.
I think you need to talk to your peoples. This show industry, go talk to somebody, some producer, writer, direct, whoever you need to talk to and let them know what's up.
I know. It's too inconsistent. I can't keep up. I don't like it. I don't like the inconsistency.
Yeah.
I hope we don't have any more breaks for the rest of whatever this season is supposed to look like. Like, let's just finish it out. Let's just finish it out. All right. So this episode, I just kind of watched it. I didn't feel like there was a lot. I mean, I know there was a lot going on, but I didn't feel, I don't know. To me, it was just kind of like another episode.
Really? I thought it was great. There was like so much building, like so much tension that you could feel in the different family situations. And I was like, everybody in this episode is about to pop off. Like Toby's about to pop off. Beth is about to pop off. Like, but can we start with Felicia Rashad though?
Girl, you know that anytime I see that woman walk across my screen, I know I'm in for a joyous occasion.
Yeah.
And I just love everything that she does. You know that.
She's
so I was like, oh snap, we about to get Felicia. Okay. They did the little like throwback and I was like, oh, she about to be in this episode. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, when Beth said she was staying, I was like, ooh, we about to get more Felicia.
Yes. Love her. Anything she's in, any project she's working on, I want to see it. I want to watch.
Yep.
So yeah, loved having her back.
She's one of those actresses that I feel like when she's in a scene with you, she like pulls it to a new level. Like her presence just demands that your performance has to rise.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know, so like you can just see, especially the dinner table, like you could just see that everybody was like on their A game.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, okay, we're gonna bring it for this scene because Felicia Rashad is here. You know what I mean? Like, we're not about to play this scene.
That's what I mean. When you're in the presence of greatness,
right,
it does put a demand on your skills. And yeah, that you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. I love that. All right. So going back to the other side of the beginning of the episode, what's her name started off in cow pajamas, which I was like, who has cow pajamas?
Oh,
like,
Madison?
She was like, I'm literally a milk farm. I was like, why are you wearing cow pajamas? Like,
girl, I don't know.
I was like, that was just an unnecessary like joke that they put in there that just didn't, just unnecessary. I'm not surprised that they had a nanny. I didn't think about it, to be honest, beforehand. But then when the nanny just started popping up, I was like, oh, that makes complete sense that they would have a nanny to help them. You know, not to say that it takes away from her and her like being a mother and him being a father, but they have help, which is a very big difference between, you know, Kate and Toby, who not only are doing all of it by themselves, but they're doing it at a lower means and with a special needs kid. Mm-hmm. So I think that, you know, the conversation at the table that they had was valid. Toby's like, we're not the same, dude. Like, and Kevin is just so tone deaf. Like he don't.
Yeah.
so flippin' tone deaf, yo. It just doesn't, and they try to make him come off real sincere.
Mm-mm.
Like he's trying to be the big brother support. And then even that private conversation he has with Kate in the kitchen, I'm like, you still don't get it. And you're still stepping over this woman's husband.
Yeah.
Like it's
So
not
okay.
about you. I'm sorry.
Can
Okay.
we no, you're good because I have thoughts, but can we back it up to kind of the
Yes.
beginning of Toby's situation?
And him not
So
wearing pants in the garage.
yes, girl. Okay. So at the end of the last episode, we find out that he's laid off. Okay. COVID situation that was very relevant to the times, right?
Right.
But then we see him in this episode in his drawers taking an interview, and like it's kind of funny because it's like, yeah, the whole country is like business, up top, sweatpants on the bottom. But I wasn't expecting him to stand up in no little tight briefs. Like, bro, what are you doing?
In the garage, like not even in his bedroom. His like in the garage, Toby.
His whole setup though, that joint was janky. It fell down. It crashed down in the middle of his Zoom interview, and I cracked up because I was like, that's relevant, a sign of the times too, because we've all been in that situation where we have some technical difficulties or something does not go as planned during a Zoom call. Like that's life right now.
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny. But also at the same time, when he was in his interview, he was like, look, you like the 5011 person I done talked to. Can you just tell me what it is straight up? And the guy gave him some hope, and then he ended up not getting the job. And I was like, dude, I feel that pain so much because when I was looking for a job for over a year, I felt like that was my experience. And it's so like that, you feel so defeated,
Right. And it's like, because he gave, you put yourself out there, and then he did step and he was like, if this isn't it, just say so. And like, we're good.
Yep.
But then the dude was like, you're our top candidate. Like, you didn't have to say that, bro. Like, you could have just been like, you know what? We like what we see. We'll be in touch. We'll let you know. You don't have to put all that out there like that and give this man all this hope. Like, just be real.
Yeah.
Because people are literally basing their life off of what you're saying or doing in these interviews. There's no need to put out false hope. Like, just be real. We really appreciate your interview. We really thank you for coming in. We're going to take a look at your stuff and kind of talk it over with my partners, and we'll let you know. Yeah. That's it. Like, don't come out and tell me that I'm so great and I'm your top and then send me an email saying you've gone in a different direction. Like, I hate that canned email,
Yes. That is,
it's like a sucker punch.
Yeah, exactly. And you could just see it all over his face. And then he didn't even have a chance to talk to Kate about it. And then here we go, the dinner table scene. I'm like, oh my gosh.
And I thought what was going to happen was that Kate was going to end up bringing it up by accident. Like at the table. Because I was like, oh, Kate, please don't say anything. Like, this man is asking you not to say anything. Just respect and honor him as your husband, and don't put his business out there.
Yeah.
Family or not, like, there's a difference between family and like covenant relationship. Yes. Like, you don't put your husband or your wife's business out there if they're not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I don't care who the family is, unless it's like of an emergency situation.
Yeah.
You don't do that, because you're breaking the trust that those two people have,
that's definitely hard, because Kevin and Kate are twins, like technically triplet, but twins, right? So they have that bond, they have that vibe for their whole life. But also Kate is a married woman now, and that supersedes the relationship she has with her brother. And that hit home for me, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, adult relationships with your siblings looks a lot different once everybody's married and you're trying to navigate, okay, I need to check with my spouse first before making plans with y'all or whatever. Like, it's a lot to juggle, especially if you're not used to doing that. You know what I mean? So Kevin was definitely overstepping. And then, like you said, Kate going back and being like, I promise you, bro, whatever, behind Toby's back. I'm like, no, girl, that's your husband. Like, you need to put him first. You need to make sure that you and him come first and then whatever else. And he already made it clear he
Right,
don't
but
want
that's not
Kevin's
what he
help.
wants. That's not what he wants.
Yeah.
And so you're going back behind his back, like you said, and you're doing this, and that's just going to cause an even worse situation.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And
that was
Kevin is just out of touch, like you said. Like he's superficial. He's very superficial. And I'm like, dude, your intentions might be great. Like, I understand what you're saying. We're family. I have more than enough. I would love to help. I think that's fine to put that out there, you know what I mean? But then it's up to the recipient what they do with that. You know what I mean? Like, dude said no, then it's a no. Like,
no. Don't be like, oh, well, you know what? No, it's no big deal. I'll just pull up on my phone right now and just buy you a Snoopy, whatever it was called.
yeah.
Right now. I'll just do it right now. No, it's like, no, I'm telling you, no. We're
Yeah.
saying we don't want one. We're saying we don't need that kind of help.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I still want you to know that I'm here to help. How can I help you? What help would you like? You know what I mean? Like asking those questions as opposed to being like, well, let me just do this because I feel like I can. I have an obscene amount of money. It's just ridiculous how much money I have. So let me do something good with it. Man, go donate to a charity. Like, I don't that whole scene had me. That was the one moment in the whole story. I was like, I'm so annoyed by this man right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But I mean, also with that whole scene with the four of them having dinner, I wondered what it was going to be like between Kate and Madison now that they're both mothers, and Kevin and Madison seem to be a thing now. Like, they're trying to make that a real thing. So I wondered what the dynamic would be like. And she made a joke. What did Kate say? She was like,
I'm so glad you had sex with my brother.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
And look, I was like, honestly, I was like, is this what white people conversations are like? Because I don't understand. I just don't understand. I just don't get it.
That's not something we would. No, we ain't. No,
I just don't get it.
we ain't doing all that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But I was just interested to see how their dynamic would be now.
Yeah. Well, flipping over to the other dinner table that
Yes. Yes.
Gotta love the through line of the dinner tables. Just, gotta love the way that they set everything up to kind of like fold in on each other. So we head over to Randall and Beth's, and mom is in the house. She was watching them while they were away when he went to go learn about his birth mom. So we find out who was taking care of the kids. They brought that back, which was nice. She's been there for a while. She's there. And at first we see that, like, Beth feels very judged and very, on guard whenever her mom is around.
Yeah.
And, I loved the don't use too many Scotch bonnet peppers because, not everybody can handle the heat. And then later on, she's like, it could have used another Scotch bonnet pepper. I was like, ooh, Felicia. But I think that that's also very real when you have such a strong parent that you feel like is constantly looking at you to like see what's going on and see what you're doing and wanting to understand. You do kind of feel that pressure, like growing up, my mom did the finger test whenever we would clean the house, which is why part of the reason why I'm so like obsessive compulsive about things now.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel for Beth in kind of that way she was thinking about her mom, and Randall and his porch situation where he was like, yeah, I'm gonna be out here on the porch.
He had that whole setup. That was his man cave.
Man cave. He was like, I'm gonna just let y'all be in there until mama leaves, and then I'll come back inside. And Beth was like, you need to come back inside, like now. I need you back inside. But I definitely feel that for Beth, and I think it's interesting as adult children, the dynamic that you begin to have with your parents, because you are now someone who is understanding what it means to be an adult, and you're you know, you have your own life, you have your family, and you're making your own kind of family routines and traditions and beliefs. Um, and in some ways you have to defend that,
Yeah.
you know, and I feel like Beth felt like she had to defend a lot of that to her mom, not knowing that her mom was just lonely.
Yeah. Yeah. But I do
She was
agree.
judging her. She was judging her, but
No,
she was
she
also,
was.
but she was also lonely.
There was both. Um, but yeah, I was thinking about that. Actually, my parents came to visit us last weekend or the weekend before, whatever. And before they got here, like we were cleaning the house, making sure we had groceries and snacks for them, making sure like everything was in order. And I was
Mhm.
like, ain't this some bullshit? Like when you grow up as a kid, your job is to keep your parents' house clean and like they check in on you with chores. And now I'm a full grown adult, got my own spot, and I'm cleaning up for my parents to come over.
Yep, that's how it works.
But there is this like you want everything to be nice, and then like it's not that I thought my parents would be judging me, but it's like I'm now hosting them as their adult child, you know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
this
You
dynamic,
want them
this
to like be proud
shift.
of you. You want them to have
Yeah.
fun with you. You want them
Hmm.
to feel comfortable in your space.
Yeah.
You know, all of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it definitely feels like a shift once you're an adult and your parents are getting older. Like there's definitely that
Yeah.
change that happens in the relationship. But one thing I was not here for in the episode at the dinner table at Beth and Randall's, these kids popping off at mom and dad. Like, when did we, the Black collective, when did we decide that it was cool for little teenagers and children to be talking crazy to their parents at the dinner table? That's what I wonder.
Nah. And like they're trying to make them like teenagers. They're trying to show, I think, a very big difference between them being kids and teenagers.
Yeah.
Because they're the only kids that we've seen kind of grow up with the show. All the other kids from the past, they're kind of keeping them in that age group, or they're trying to represent a certain time period, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
But with Randall and Beth's kids, we're seeing them kind of grow up. And so they're trying to show us that they're growing and that they're teenagers and they're coming into their own, and all of that is cool. But let somebody talk to my mother like that at the dinner table.
Mm-mm.
Huh?
Mm-mm. And storm off. Wait,
Who are you talking to?
you gonna storm off from the dinner table in the middle of you?
You better not even bring your cell phone to the dinner table. Like that's not even now as a grown adult going to my dad's house, we don't bring our cell phone to the dinner table. Like that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like if we do, it's on some like, oh, I just had it on me and so now it's here. Not like, but we don't be pulling it out. That's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Especially not as a young kid. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute. What
Yeah.
is going on?
No.
But I think they were trying to show this like, you know, relationship between Beth and her mom and kind of build up that tension and that drama.
Yeah, I get that. I just feel like it's not realistic in a Black
I
household.
agree with you.
Like it's not.
I agree.
It's
Mm-mm.
somebody getting smacked down. Like it ain't. No.
Right. You're not about to walk away from this table. Did I excuse you?
Exactly. But yeah, no. I thought it was cool how Malik came to Randall for advice and they had their little moment in the man cave.
I knew that, but it's, you know what? As soon as he started giving him advice on his baby mama, I was like, no, Randall, don't
Yeah.
you know what this means for Deja? Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? And the
He
fact that
wasn't
he
thinking.
didn't think about that, or maybe
Nope.
he did, he just didn't. I don't think he thought about it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, oh no.
He wasn't thinking. But I love that, like, so Malik comes from a very strong family. Like they didn't put that narrative of like he's a Black single father and he comes from poverty, he comes from a struggle, like he has a very good solid family unit. So I
Mhm.
like that he has that male presence as a father. With his father he has a relationship that's really solid. And then with Randall's kind of becoming almost like this mentor figure to him,
Mhm.
where he has that relationship to lean on as well. So I like the way that they're kind of portraying that on TV, because you don't see that a lot, where you have this young Black man coming to an older Black man to talk and get advice about a life issue.
Yeah. And I loved how, like, obviously classic Randall, as soon as he says, he's like, yo, he's got to be goofy about it. He's got to be corny about it. So
Mhm.
I got a lot of stuff I want to share. Da, da, da. This is why I need a son in the house. Like, he does his whole goofy Randall thing. But then
Mhm.
as soon as Malik asked the question, he's like, oh, that's a tough one. Like, so
Yeah.
he sits with it for a minute and really says, like, I can only tell you from my experience. I
Mhm.
can't really give you an answer on that because it depends. But from my experience, this is how I feel.
Mhm.
So I like that they showed kind of that juxtaposition between his feelings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it will be interesting for us to see how that plays out between Deja and Malik, what that
Mhm.
looks like because they are kids. They're like
Kids, children. She is
15.
15.
She's 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy. But I did like how they kind of brought it full circle with Randall and Deja, where
Mm.
they kind of had a moment and she was like, yo, that wasn't cool. And he's like, yeah, you're right. And then they're like, let's go on Instagram and talk trash about the baby moms. Like, that was so funny. But it made me reflect on their journey. Like, they've come so far, the two of them. So to see them kind of reconnect in that moment was really cool.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that. That was good.
Yeah.
Um, whew. Yeah. I feel like,
Can we talk about Jack though?
oh yeah, let's get to Jack. Poor Jack and that Russian roulette. I
Yeah.
thought I thought that he was already so stressed out through that whole dinner. The way
Mm-hmm.
he was eating the salad, like he just looked so uncomfortable.
Whole
And
thing.
and then he had to put his card in. I was like, no, don't let him.
Yeah. See, his boy gave him an out. Why am I forgetting his name?
Yeah.
Miguel. Miguel was like, nah, he can't write it off as an expense. Right then I would have been like, oh, you right. Like, that was his out, but he didn't take it. Come on, dude. Come on.
He's a
But
man, it's different.
yeah, but that whole um dinner with him as the foreman, and then sitting with all those executives, and how awkward it was, how uncomfortable he was, how out of place he felt. For me, it was like, that's what it feels like being the only Black person at the table with all white people. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
exact, like, they captured exactly what that's like, or what it's like being a woman at the table with men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's awkward, it's uncomfortable, and you can't really be who you want to be. Like you can't fully be yourself.
Yeah, like,
Because
you're
you're
hyper aware
constantly
of everything.
right. You're constantly worried about every word that you say, every facial expression you have,
Mhm.
every little thing,
Yeah.
and then yeah, if someone is like, yeah, let's do this, let's all put our cards in, you're like, ugh, like, you know what I mean? It's hard because you're like, no, I don't want to,
Yeah.
but yeah. I did love that, even all the little details, like the MasterCard looked different,
Mhm.
than what we know the MasterCard looks like now. So I thought that
Yeah.
was a nice detail, a
Yeah.
nice touch. But then, they go home and I think it was what, like 230, like $230. And that's like a big deal.
Yeah.
That $230 was a big deal for them.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oof.
I don't know.
Yeah. But then, like, Rebecca taking over and kind of taking the finances and, playing to her strengths, which I think
Yeah.
shows, their dynamic as a couple. I
Yeah.
think people could look at that and be like, oh, she's trying to take over from the man. But it's like, no, their relationship was a partnership
Mhm.
and she had her strengths and he had his strengths.
Mhm.
And so that was her strength. Like she could take it and she could create a safety net for the family that they would need, that we ended up seeing that they needed,
Yeah.
you know
And I like that he didn't fight her on that. She was
Right,
like, I'm taking over the finances. I'm putting 10% of your check every month in savings. He was like, okay.
right, right.
Like
Because
sometimes.
right, he knew that that was her strength, and there've
Yeah.
been times where he's asserted himself and been like, "No, Rebecca, this is what we're doing."
Hmm.
Like they've really done a great job of portraying partnership
Yeah.
between those two, which I
Yeah.
which I really like.
That's good.
Um,
It bees like that sometimes. And I like that it was respectful. It wasn't a thing, it could have been, it could have turned into something, but it didn't.
it didn't. Yeah, I like that too. Yeah, now that I think about it, there was a lot that went on in that episode.
Yeah, I feel like it was a full
There was a lot.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It
then
was,
at the end, we see Uncle Nick came back, right?
I know, right? Kevin's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm so excited that it's just gonna be the four of us in our house," and then ding dong, here comes Uncle Nick, and he ain't gonna go nowhere. He about to
Yeah.
stay.
Yeah.
He is not going anywhere.
Yeah. So I guess we got some extended family footage coming up between Felicia Rashad and then Uncle Nick in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yep. I think so. I think so. So hopefully we don't have any more breaks in between episodes. We can just kind of ride this season out until it's finished. So y'all stay tuned, get caught up. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, listen in on your early morning walk now that the weather is getting nicer and the sun is out. And we will talk to y'all in the next episode. Until next time, y'all.